Welcome to the Pod in Your Basement podcast, featuring Ben DeLessio and Joe Garza. They're alive, they're hungry, and they're opinionated.
So here on in your basement, the pod in your basement, we talk a lot about scary, fantastical, horror type things. But I want to get very practical in this episode, Ben. I think it's time we became more practical.
Okay.
Destroyed, and with that,
destroyed with logic and reason.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We're gonna talk about our favorite practical effects, specifically like blood and guts and makeup and creature effects.
I'm pretty sure on the last pod, the Reckless Muse cast, didn't we have an episode called like Ben and Joe Horrors for Practical Effects? Or am I wrong?
I think we did. But we got a whole massive new audience now with this new podcast. So,
yeah. Oh no, I don't mean that like we've already done this, but I just mean I think we probably said that during the episode. And
yeah, I'm sure we have, and we both expressed our love for practical effects on numerous occasions. But I thought it'd be fun to dive a little bit deeper into that.
Okay, then.
Yeah. And like, I don't think, other types of effects like CGI or photochemical effects or things like that are bad, but there is something, wonderfully tactile about practical effects, even when they're really cheesy or really over the top or haven't dated, particularly well.
Bad practical effects almost always look better than bad CGI.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, because there's like a tactile aspect of it. It's like somebody, that mask might look fake or that decapitated head might look fake, but it's like there's something just so like somebody spent hours and hours crafting that. Whereas like with CGI, it's like you probably just kind of shit that out in a small amount of time, and it just glares.
It's just kind of gross, like bad CGI. It just, I guess, like a really, really, really poorly done practical effect could be like throwing a dummy off a building or something and just like looks like a dummy. I guess that, but that's almost, I don't know, you don't really see that even in maybe like really like D level movies, but
right. And it's funny because like even then, even when you know that how the trick was done. So for example, not quite horror related, and we'll get into the main topic soon, but that YouTube channel that show VFX artists react. Where like professional special effects artists react to different special effects. Sometimes they do themed episodes, and they did an episode on Godzilla. And Godzilla's been around since the 1950s, and of course, obviously in recent, the last few decades, it's become more CGI. But they were watching a Godzilla movie from the 80s, and one of the guys like, this is really cool, but you can tell that the city is miniature, and it kind of takes me out of it a little bit. But then the other guy is like, but I don't really care. Like seeing stuff crumble and blow up and sparks and smoke, like knowing that it's real, it still looks super cool. I just like seeing practical things blow up. Like practical miniature buildings, they crumble in a way that's much different than CGI buildings. And even though like the CGI, the way CGI buildings are made today is spectacular, there's still something where it's like, I know you didn't blow that up. But when you see a model getting blown up in a Godzilla movie, you're like, like you rigged it. You put explosives in that to blow up, and it shows. So that tactile element still holds up really well, even for lower budget movies or older movies. So
and there's that era of, I feel like I reference this a lot. It's kind of mid-ish 90s to early to even mid 2000s, where it was like the new technology, right? There was kind of that huge leap forward in computer technology that everyone wanted to use, understandably, but a lot of that aged so poorly that I think that's why. And now a lot of effects are incredible. CGI effects are incredible, and there's still something missing, but it's really good. But I think that's why so many people have a fondness for basically like at least the 70s to the 90s, and obviously stuff that has been made so 2026, so it's using practical effects, but that used to be course, the only option.
Yeah.
But then when you were given the choice, so many studios, so many filmmakers use CGI that, I mean, it's a lot of it is so bad, when they could have, I don't even know about costs. Like, a lot of stuff was expensive then too.
Yeah,
just
yeah.
because, oh, let's use the new thing, and it's really really disappointing. I remember, I feel like the movie I think of when I think of this era the most would be The Craft. Remember The
Oh
Craft?
yeah.
Like the witches movie with Nev Campbell,
Mm.
and there's like some scene where this one of their fingers turn to snakes, and it's just like so bad.
Oh yeah.
And that's like 95 or something, right? 96. So it's like,
yeah.
it's like really bad CGI, where you could have done something, maybe not the exact same shot, but you could have done something better with fake snakes or real or whatever, and it would have aged much better.
Right. But even if that was done with 90s animatronic and makeup effects, it still would have I think it still would have looked cooler. It still would have been like,
exactly. Well, that's it would have looked way better, and aged better. And but yeah. So, do you have anything else to like preface the topic?
No, let's get practical.
Do you want to start?
Yeah, sure. I'll take a stab at this. So I'm going to start with some gore. This is from 1985. This is Day of the Dead, the third in George A. Romero's Living Dead trilogy. And so that movie's makeup effects were done by Tom Savini, as well as a young Kurtzman. Oh, Gregory Nicotero, whose last name would form the N in K&B Effects, who would go on to do a lot of Sam Raimi movies, a lot of Tarantino movies, Robert Rodriguez movies, and who I actually met at the Whiskey Go-Go a few years back. But anyway, so he was like a young guy, and this is his first movie. He's working with Tom Savini. So the makeup effects, I think, are Tom Savini's best work. The zombies are fantastic. It's really difficult to create because you can't just carve away at someone's skin to make it look like a big chunk of their face is missing or something like that. So he had to find like really skinny actors in order to give like the illusion of like an emaciated look. So he would like exaggerate the bones around the eyes, and then so not only did the zombies look the best, it was also some of the best gore he's ever done. So there's one, and he's such a stickler for detail, and I love him for this. So there's one scene where this guy is getting ripped apart by zombies, and he's having his head slowly ripped off from his body. And while that's happening, his vocal cords, he's screaming the whole time. You see his vocal cords, and then like his voice gets higher and higher pitched as the vocal cords are getting stretched. I'm like, what a cool little detail. Like that, he told the sound guy, I was like, hey, like I want this to happen, just to really sell the effect. And also it's an animatronic head that's still gradually moving, and it's no longer part of his body, so it stops moving after a while. But it's like, so it's a very complex effect that was done in 1985. Of an animatronic head, so you have to put like a lot of small electronics into a head size fake head, and so and adding that detail of like his voice getting higher as his vocal cords are getting stretched. I was like, man, what a cool little detail. That there are some great guts shots. Again, like you can add onto an actor, but you can't really take away. So there's one shot where there's a zombie that's strapped to a medical table, and the actor had like most of his torso is beneath the tabletop, and above him is a fake chest cavity, and it's just filled with guts and rib cages and everything. And there's a scene where he turns around and all the guts fall out, and it's like, no, but how'd you do that though? Because it's not an animatronic; it's a real actor who's turning. But like everything from like his lower rib cage to his waist is gone. Yes, it was a really cool trick that they did, and also just like they used real guts for that. They had to go into a butcher shop and reuse all the same guts over and over for any time someone got ripped apart. Have you seen Day of the Dead?
No.
It's pretty solid.
I've seen Dawn of the Dead, I've seen Night of the Living Dead, I've seen Return of the Living Dead. I don't think I've seen Day of the Dead.
It's worth checking out. I think it's not quite as strong as the other two that he did, but it's got some amazing gore effects, and there's some kind of commentary, I think, on like the military and like, because I was like in the mid '80s, the Reagan era and stuff. So
sure. Yeah, I was thinking because when you brought up the going to a butcher shop, like I know when we did the episode on Night of the Living Dead, how like these actors are, they're really putting like pieces of meat in their mouths and tearing at me, like, which is so disgusting. And there's like this rancid. I mean, and I can't imagine they were paid anything well, if anything at all. Like,
right.
And like to really just give it like that. I wasn't even going to bring up Night of the Living Dead because it's not really known for its effect, but maybe for like the era, it's a classic, of course, great movie. But when you just brought up the going to the butcher shop, like that's just reminded me of watching that documentary on it, and how they say like the people are really like biting into this disgusting meat that's supposed to be, like humans.
Yeah. And I think with Day of the Dead, if you look closely, none of the actors are chewing on it, on the guts. Like they're just putting it close to their mouth and just pretending.
Oh yeah.
So, and that movie had a slightly bigger budget, so obviously I think they were able to like have like some better health precautions.
In Night of the Living Dead, they are chewing on it, like they are biting it. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
And so sticking with that, it's not my favorite movie, Return of the Living Dead.
Oh yeah.
So it's unique. It's something.
It's a fun punk rock.
It's a fun movie. Yeah, it's a fun movie. But the main zombie, what's his name? Sludge Face or something?
Oh yeah. The mud guy, the
Mud Face? Is
something like that.
The guy who was in the canister.
The canister. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. His effects are pretty good.
Yes.
Like looking, I don't really have any other notes besides that. But that's I think like the effects on the movie are pretty good.
Yeah.
But it's probably one of the highlights of it because it's a pretty silly movie otherwise.
Yeah. Tarman.
Tarman. Yeah. Sludge Face. Whatever. It's Tarman. Yeah. Tarman is pretty good. Just really kind of nasty, dripping, like something you'd see in a cartoon,
Yeah, no, definitely. And also like the eyes are really protruding, so that means that the eyes were fake. So the actor playing that character was probably blind, or I mean, like I'm not like actually blind, but like they couldn't see out of this mask because like they had like these really big bulging eyes. No, that was a cool effect.
Yeah, I think I don't know how much of, what do you think of, like Dawn of the Dead is one of my favorite zombie movies. It's a 2004 remake.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite zombie movies. I haven't seen it in a while. Like, how much of that do you think is practical versus CGI? Because it's like 2004.
Yeah.
It had a probably pretty good budget, right?
Yeah, definitely.
But I don't know. It looks really. But I think that's why I like it so much. Like, it looks really good, and it holds up really well.
I have it on DVD, and I remember when I first bought it on DVD. I was a total hound for all the behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah.
I loved all like the documentaries and the commentaries and all that stuff. So I do remember it's been years since I've seen the remake of Dawn of the Dead, but I do remember there was a very extensive behind the scenes look at the makeup effects and being very, very impressed by it. So yeah, a good chunk of it was practical.
Which shows, because like I said, that's right in that era where the CGI for a lot of stuff wasn't great yet.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of right on the cusp of like getting into much better effects.
Yes,
but I don't think it really used that much. Which kind of shows like there was a choice, like there were choices, and I think the movies that the studios or the directors, whoever has the bigger say, who chose to go more practical, like those movies have staying power.
Oh yeah,
because
CGI blood and guts annoys the hell out of me. It's super obvious. I mean, it's definitely gotten better. A lot of movies, I think only within the last few years have I been genuinely impressed by CGI blood. But there's like when you see a lot of action movies from like probably like the mid 2000s to the early 2000s, early 2020s, like so many squibs are done digitally, and it looks bad. I don't like it because like sometimes like the blood is too bright, or it's too, or it's too dark, and it just doesn't match the lighting of the rest of the scene, so it just really sticks out. And you know, like I understand it because especially like for example, like the John Wick. I know the first John Wick movies, but probably the other ones as well. There's a lot of CGI blood in that. I can understand why they would do that, because you know, it's such a slick, you know, stylized, heavily choreographed movie where it's like, okay, this is a long one take fight scene. It's
also
going to take
a lot of shooting.
A lot of shooting. So it's like, if we fuck up the take, we have to clean up all the blood from all the walls and reset all the squibs. And there's and in the scene, 30 people are getting shot. So it's like we have to reset all of that. So I can see why it's like, you know, let's just do all of it in post. So I understand that. And you know, like you know, the main draw of those movies, it's not the blood, it's the action. So like it
choreography,
the choreography. So it doesn't take me out too much. But like, you know, so many action movies are just like, I can tell. And also just, you know, CGI skin and tissue is a difficult thing to make. But yeah, no, the remake of Dawn of the Dead definitely was heavily reliant on practical effects, thankfully. So
I have to watch that one again soon because I feel like I bring it up a lot, and because I remember loving it. I've probably seen it like, I don't know, 10 times or something, but all those watches are probably all within 5 some years or so, or the vast majority of them. I probably watched it once in the past 10 years.
Right.
But I just know that other people reference it. It's like, yeah, it really holds up. Like this movie that it's not even a remake of the most famous of the original, you know, not series or whatever you want to call it, the original
trilogy.
Yeah. Is it a trilogy? I thought it's more than that. No,
it's more, it was intended to be a trilogy, but then he's kept returning to it.
Night, Day, and Dawn.
Yeah.
Like it's not even a remake of Night of the Living Dead, which there is a remake.
Yeah, that was remade in 1990, and I think again maybe later on, but like lower budget. Yeah, it's in the public domain, so anybody can remake it.
We could remake it.
We could, and we would be, and we could sell it and profit off it if we wanted to.
That's so crazy. I remember learning about that. Yeah, from the documentary.
Yeah.
That's why you need a good lawyer.
Exactly. Yeah. Maybe we should do an episode comparing the original and the remake.
Okay. Yeah, we could do that. So moving on, let's because I'm assuming we're both gonna have this on our list, and
yes,
probably the biggest disparity between original practical effect and remake digital is what do you think I'm gonna say?
The Thing?
Yes, of course, obviously. The Thing. Because it's The Thing probably has the best practical effects in any horror movie, right? Like I don't even think that's that controversial. Like it's so incredible. It is mind-blowing how good that movie is with its effects. And the remake, it was like, hey, you know that thing, no pun intended, that worked so well and why people love the original of this? Let's ignore all of it.
Yeah. Dude, on top of that, the fact that the company that did it is one of the top makeup effects companies. They spent like, you know, a year or so working on that. Like they created, like when you look at behind the scenes of the making of The Thing prequel.
Is that Bottin?
Yeah, but Rob Bottin did the original.
Right.
I think it's Alec Gillis and Tom Woodruff Jr. I think were the ones who did the remake.
So my question is this. My question is this. Is it because that you didn't have Rob Bottin? Like is he the only one who could do it?
No, I don't think it was that that was the reason. From what I understand, it was studio executives who said,
"Oh my God, the suits,
exactly." Like everybody was on board. Like from what I understand, like the original intent was like, "Hey, let's go back to." So The Thing is the 2011 or whatever that version. It's a prequel to the original. But for whatever reason, they just call it The Thing instead of doing like the usual prequel thing of like The Thing Rises or The Thing Begins or something like that. Yeah. So the modern version, they hired a great effects company to do like exactly what you know Rob Bottin did in 1982. But but on a bigger scale. And they did it, but then the suits got involved, and we're like, yeah, but it looks dated. It looks like 80s effects. So we're gonna cover all of that.
People like that. God, I feel like that wouldn't actually. I don't know if that would happen today. I feel like that was very, like 2011.
Yeah.
Today would be like charming. Like people want that. By the way, before we get actually, yes, I know that the Thing made in the 80s was also a remake.
Yeah,
like there was an original that I don't. Have you ever seen it?
I haven't seen it. I heard it's pretty good. It's called The Thing from Another World or The Thing from Another Planet.
I've seen clips of it. I don't know if it looks like, I don't know what they do for any of like the horror elements to it. I can.
It's just a guy in a suit. It's just a guy like a big guy, and the saying, the what do you call it? Like so apparently like the original director didn't like it, and he described the monster afterwards. He says that it was a giant blood drinking carrot. It was just like really goofy 1950s looking monster. From what I understand, the original is actually a very well made movie. It's very like well acted, a lot of suspense and everything. But the monster effects do not hold up well. So that's why John Carpenter was like, okay, we're gonna go all out with the effects. We're gonna go back to because from in the source material, the creature, like it actually mimics it transforms into whatever it latches onto. So if anything, like the John Carpenter one is truer to the source material.
Sure. Yeah. And of course, like everything was a book. Which, I think I remember the iconic, whatever you want to call it, interrogation scene where it's like they're doing the blood test.
Yeah.
I think I remember that from the original or something. I don't know if they do a blood test, but like just a scene with everyone in a room and the main guy kind of interrogating everyone. But anyway, so that, I mean, the thing is just the scene that to me sticks out the most, as in like if someone was like, okay, I'm not going to watch the whole movie, you have to or I'm not going to watch it until I'm convinced. You have to convince me of one moment, one scene, and I'll determine if I watch the movie or not. It would be the like spider head.
Yes, the defibrillator scene. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So the defibrillator scene is like, oh my god, it's so gnarly.
It just gets crazier and crazier. Like when I first got into that movie when I was a teenager, and I'm describing that scene to my friends, like, it was such a fun scene to describe because they never heard of it. They don't know anything about like classic horror movies. So I'm like, dude, like the plungers go down, the chest rips open, and then it turns out that there's claws and that bites the hands off. The guy's all armless, and he falls back, and then a giant monster shoots out, and then they shoot it with a flamethrower. Meanwhile, the head comes off, it lands on the ground, and then the spider legs come out, and then and so it's just like it just gets nuttier and nuttier. It's wild.
It's that guy on cocaine, and then we're gonna just rip the arms off, and then shoot the flamethrower, and then the head will be a spider, and that'll be a spider. It's just, what the fuck are you talking about? And so I was like, just like, do it that way.
Yes,
make it that way.
And towards the end of that scene where they torch the main monster that erupted out of that guy's chest, and then they turn around and they see the head scurrying across the floor, and then the one guy goes, "You got to be fucking kidding!" We're just like, it just won't die. We can't get rid of this thing. Yeah, that's such a standout scene.
On them, I just, you know what? Just fuck it. I'm just gonna shoot myself like that. I'm just I'm just gonna walk out into the cold, and I'm not dealing with this anymore. This sucks. After you watch all of that happen, just not worth it.
Yeah. No, but that is absolutely my favorite sequence from the whole movie. But there's another cool little detail earlier on. So it's in the dog sequence, where it gets to the kennels or whatever where they keep the dogs, and then like it's just like this big amorphous mass. Yeah. When you look closely, there are a couple of eyeballs, like really big eyeballs, but they're like moving around. So it's like, again, like Rob Bottin went like an extra 5%. He didn't have to do that, but it's like, no, I'm gonna have like an operator working each eyeball. Like that, like we're gonna this is like the weirdest, most alien thing we've ever seen. It's mixed with different animal DNA, and it's just like this big amorphous mass. And the fact that he had like these weird twitching little eyeballs on the thing, it's just like, oh my god, like, like what? And also, he was like 22 years old when he came up with that. Like, I was an idiot when I was 22 years old. I wouldn't be able to come up with something like that. You there? Yep. You're muted. You're still muted. If you look at your screen, it says that your mic is
Can you hear
muted.
me?
Oh, yeah, I now can hear you. Did you actually did you accidentally unplug yourself there?
Sorry about that. I don't know. Somehow I just got disconnected.
Oh, weird.
Let me go see.
Well,
Stupid shit.
Anyway, Rob Bottin was 22 years old when he did all those effects for the thing. So, I was
Okay.
I was working in an internship when I was 22 years old, not working for John Carpenter.
All right, I'm good.
Cool.
What do you want to do next?
For me, I'm doing. This is a surprising one. I still haven't even seen the full movie, but the scene, the effects for this are terrific. Little Shop of Horrors, the one with from '86, I believe, with Rick Moranis.
Yeah, I love that movie.
So I'm not a musical.
You haven't seen Little Shop of Horrors like all the way through?
I don't. No, I have not. Not all the way through.
Oh, dude, you got to watch that. It is so good.
I just don't care for musicals. I don't care for musicals.
Yeah, but it's a horror one.
Yeah, that's true. And it's got Rick Moranis and some other famous people.
Classic. It's like classic 50s. It's Martin. I'm blanking on his first name.
Steve Martin.
I said Phil Martin. Steve Martin. He's like a greasy guy with a motorcycle and a leather jacket, and you've got Audrey, who's the helium voiced blonde, and this is really good, like classic, and it looks cool. Like not even the horror, like just the city looks great. It's a great set. Yeah, the music's great. And of course, there's a giant flesh-eating plant from outer space.
I'll check it out one of these days. But until that happens,
I think that had a similar thing to Night of the Living Dead with like copyright. Pretty sure the guy who wrote the original, because it's also an original show, book. I don't know if it's originally a play, but I think he did the same thing by accident and like didn't copyright it adequately.
Really?
Yeah, something to that effect.
Interesting. So this movie was directed by Frank Oz, who's known for voicing Yoda, and was also like a Jim Henson. Like I think he voiced Fozzie Bear and a few other Muppets characters. So of course Jim Henson did the effects for this. His Jim Henson Puppet Studio did the effects for this. So it's a musical. So no movie is perfect. But but for the scenes where the massive plant monster thing is singing,
Audrey 2,
yes. Those scenes are fantastic because it's singing in like with the actors in the same scene. So when I was watching that, I was like, oh, like is this like a hand puppet? And then like maybe they shot it in a different, like a different set, and then they just merged the two shots together. No, it's a massive animatronic. But here's the thing: they had to slow, because back then animatronics couldn't move that quickly. They couldn't move that fast, so they had to perform the song at half speed, and then speed it up to the full speed, which means that anytime an actor is singing that song with the animatronic puppet, they're acting and singing at 50% speed. Wow, and you can kind of tell Rick Moranis. There's one particular shot where he's singing with Audrey too. And it's funny because like you don't notice it because he's in his apartment or whatever, and he's walking around singing. But here's the thing: he's walking in slow motion in real life, and you can kind of tell because like when you walk, you're carrying your weight through to your next step. What he's doing, he's balancing on each step, and you don't quite notice it. But like when you pay attention, like, oh, he's walking kind of weird. It's because he's having to balance because like I'm on one foot, and then so anyway. So everybody had to perform at 50% speed to accommodate the slowness of 80s animatronics. And when you speed it to 50%, when you speed it up again, it looks great. It looks terrific.
Yeah, and the voice is Levi Stubbs was the singer for Audrey too. He's in the Four Tops.
Oh yeah. I'm glad that he looks exactly in real life. He looks exactly how I pictured in my mind. I'm like, that's what I. That's how I want.
Actually, I remember. I bring this up to my wife a lot because I loved this show my high school did this show. Or no, my middle school actually did this show, and it was like really, we had a really good singer in my class, and she was Audrey, and then like the lead was really good, or the guy who did the dentist, who's a friend of mine, played baseball together. Yeah. And then my science teacher, Mr. Manley, shout out Mr. Manley, was the voice, because he's kind of a deep voice. He did the voice for Audrey too. And I remember, I think he was like, either he was inside of it or there were like students inside of it, and they would like move it from the inside. It was like a big hit. Like it did really well. Yeah. But fun fact about that, the lead was Chuck Schumer's niece.
Really?
Yeah, who I went to school with. Yeah.
Oh.
So I've always loved this show because I just thought it was like, to me, it's kind of like an acid trip of a plot. It's like, hey, let's do like generic. It's supposed to be probably New York, but like a generic 1950s kind of doo-woppy style, like Grease doo-woppy style, and then they have a really like stereotypical Jewish lead and a stereotypical Italian like villain, and then a giant plant from outer space that eats people. Like, yeah, that rules. And it'll be like Motown, and you'll have like a Greek chorus of like Motown girl singers, and I don't know. I just always loved it, and it has very good effects. You know, so wait, I don't want to give it away because there's like multiple endings.
Really?
Yeah, there's like the original ending, and then I think they had a different ending. But I'll let you, because you're gonna watch this. It's so good. So
I'll check it out someday.
Yeah, it's good. It's fun.
Yeah.
All right,
your turn.
My turn. Well, sticking with kind of that style, or that kind of I don't know, like something more campy and not musical. I mean, of course they made it a musical, but I'll just go with Beetlejuice.
Oh, good.
Beetlejuice has really cool effects.
Yeah.
I was always a big fan of the snake things, like the same color as him, like the black and white striped.
Oh yeah, the sandworms or whatever. Yeah.
Sandworms, snakes, whatever they are. I always thought that was really cool. Beetlejuice just looks like, his makeup just looks disgusting.
Yeah,
kind of like rotting, and it looks like he's always like crap on his face. Like,
it almost looks like moss. Like, it looks so good. Like, it looks.
Yeah. I always enjoyed the end when he's in hell and he's like waiting, like in hell's like a DMV.
Yeah,
like waiting to take a number, and it's got I think it's like a girl cut in half, right? And then the guy with the little head, and I just always loved that. The girl, the woman taking numbers, and I forgot how I think she like killed herself or something.
Yeah, that was great. And he's sitting next to like that wild man from Borneo, that sort of headhunter guy who does the shrinky head thing. Yeah, the movie had great makeup effects. There's a scene where Alec Baldwin and Davis Gina Davis. Yeah, their characters when they go to that DMV underworld place, and that old lady teaches them how to be scary, and then I think Alec Baldwin's character, he does the one where he shoves like his hand through his head, so he's got like this big like almost like finger spiky things out of the back of his head, and then his face is really elongated like a pterodactyl.
Yeah,
and then Gina Davis, she ripped her jaws apart, and so they're really long, and then there's like a tongue with a couple of eyeballs in there.
Yeah, it's great. Yes, I love that. And they're like in the closet, right? And someone like opens classic. So good. I don't know how they did that. Was that even practical?
Oh yeah. If anything, I think that movie won the Oscar for best makeup effects, or at least I think it was definitely nominated. See, I'm looking it up on IMDb. Won the Oscar for best makeup. Yep.
Yeah, that's great.
Much deserved, I believe. Yeah, the movie's got some great makeup effects. Yeah, that was a great one. Beetlejuice. And then like the scenes when they're having like that wedding ritual thing, and then like their corpses are their bodies are shriveling up. That was a cool effect. Yeah, tons of great effects in that one.
Yeah, I actually really enjoyed the remake, or not the remake, the sequel.
Oh yeah,
Beetlejuice.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one yet.
I thought it was really good. Like I was surprised with how much I liked it.
Yeah, I heard Michael Keaton. He still got it as Beetlejuice.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
it was cool because it was like what's her name in the movie? What's oh God, I can't think of the actor. The actress.
Jenna Ortega.
Well, that's the daughter from the first one. Is what
yeah, the mom.
Yeah, what's the mom's? Winona Ryder. Yeah, Winona Ryder's daughter, and this one has some unnecessary plot points. Who's in it? I think Justin Theroux's in it. He's very good. Love Justin Theroux. Underrated actor. I think he's one of the best actors, and he's not got the credit he deserves. I love him. All right. Do you want to do one?
Yeah, my turn. I'm gonna go with An American Werewolf in London.
Yeah, that's classic.
I don't want to talk too much about the transformation effect because it's legendary. But everybody's talked about it, and I'm sure I've talked about it many times. Yeah. And it is also the first movie to win the Oscar for best makeup. That was the first year that they had that category.
Really?
So I'm glad.
Was it 1980?
82 or 83, I think, was when they first had that category. So Rick Baker won the Oscar, and much deserved so. The reason I bring it up though is because his friend, the main character's friend, I think his name was Jack in the movie. So these two friends, they're going backpacking in Europe, and then they get attacked by a werewolf. His friend Jack gets mauled, just completely ripped apart. And then he just gets bitten until villagers show up. But like, of course, he becomes a werewolf. But he's haunted by the spirits of the people that he's killed. That's part of his like the werewolf curse. And so it's like until he dies, he's gonna be like they're gonna be like following him around, saying, "Hey, we're stuck in limbo, so you got to die. You got to kill yourself." So he's haunted by his friend Jack. But throughout the movie, his friend Jack gets more and more like moldy and decomposed, which is a great idea. But at the same time, it's like, is there a limit? Like, is he? So when he first shows up to haunt his friend, he's still fresh. He's still like gooey and stuff. And there's like Rick Baker did this little thing where he added like a little bit of flesh. It's just like wiggling. Like every time he talks, it just wiggles a little bit. So he's got these three massive gashes. And then like later on in the movie, now he's starting to look like get a little more rotten. And by the end of the movie, during like right before the final climactic scene where he's in London and he attacks all the Brits, they're in the back of a porno movie theater, and his friend is basically just like a skeleton wearing clothes with like some rotted skin. It's so like it was a great idea to put it in the back of a theater, so like it's mostly dark, but like there's somebody behind who's puppeting like the head. And it's funny because like our lips are so expressive, but when you rip those lips apart, it's just up and down. So like the idea of like timing a skull's mouth with the dialogue that's got to be pretty tricky because your mouth doesn't move up and down for every syllable. So timing that to make it look natural was probably a very tricky thing. And they also like the eyes move around. So it's like you had to have multiple puppeteers for that, and it looks so good. Again, like having it in darkness helped a lot, but like they used it so the parts that you do see look very natural. They look very, very realistic. So kudos to you, Rick Baker, for pulling off basically like a moldy skeleton friend.
That's very good.
Realistic. American Werewolf.
Have we discussed any Cronenberg yet?
No, we haven't. No, I do have one on my list. Do you want to go?
Sure.
Yeah.
I'll do The Fly.
Okay. Yeah. That's a great one.
Love The Fly. Great movie. I mean, it's a slow burn in terms of the like you do get some splashes of the practical effects. Like I remember the monkey, right? Like the monkey thing. Which is like, who stopped sending this guy monkeys? Like, so you see what this is kind of capable of. but the slow burn into the transformation is iconic.
Oh yeah.
I mean, just like, I guess the end is when he's really fully become the Fly, and he also has, like, if I remember correctly, doesn't he's in like one of the pods, but he's not like fully in. So it's like part of like metal, like in him also. I think that is so interesting that they made that decision where it's like on top of, well, because the whole plot is the scientist Jeff Goldblum, who's just, you kind of have to suspend disbelief with he's got like these pods in his apartment or something, and I forget what city is it, Chicago or New York? I can't remember.
I think it was in Toronto. Cronenberg shoots almost all of his movies in his homeland, I think.
But is that where it takes place too?
Oh, I'm not sure where it takes
well,
place.
Regardless. So, so he's kind of like in a loft apartment. It feels very of the time.
Yeah.
That's what, 80s? Yeah, 86.
86,
right? Yeah. There's like these pods that can kind of, what is it, like jumping through time? It's like a weird...
they can transport. They teleport. Teleportation.
So, they're teleported, and like a fly is in one of the pods with him by accident, of course.
Yeah.
So he begins this descent, and at first it's kind of like superhuman. He can climb up walls, and he has huge sex drive, and but then it obviously goes poorly. And really, the end transfer, it's so just like viscous and like this, it like kind of makes you squirm. And it's also really depressing. But it's I can't really say more than it's a giant human fly. And
it's like a giant human larva thing.
And it's so good, totally pays off, but is just really it's I don't know if someone, again, I like doing this thought experiment, was like, okay, you show me one Cronenberg, and then I will. I mean, there's literally at least in Rick and Morty, which I'm a huge fan of, they have a huge plot point in season 1, I think it is, maybe 2, is where they Cronenberg their world, and they have to go find another world. Like they use it as a verb. Like they Cronen, and there's all these human insectoid and beast creatures that they create by accident. So it's like, if someone's like, oh, you have to convince me with one, I guess, scene from Cronenberg, one effect, well, I would probably pick The Fly.
Cronenberg's one of those guys, like one of the handful of directors who's kind of his own genre. Where it's like his name is used as it's like there's Lynchian, there's Kubrickian, and then there's like Cronenbergian, where it's like other movies are compared to that, where it's like other body horror movies are compared to his body of work. And I love, it's funny. So like in the 2000s when there was like this wave of remakes, and there was sort of like this thing of like, well, got to take this thing that was originally kind of campy or kind of goofy, and then we got to give it dark and gritty. You got to give it the dark and gritty treatment. I feel like the 80s did a great job with that with horror movies. Like they were ahead of the curve on that one, because the thing, they took kind of a campy sci-fi horror movie from the 50s, and then like they made it into like this really bleak, really gory sci-fi horror film. And the same thing with The Fly. In the original 1950s version of The Fly, the guy, same thing. It was also very much of its time, where it's like, he's a kooky inventor. He's the 50s. He's very like bright-eyed and like, I'm gonna invent teleportation. And then, but like, if I remember correctly, the Cronenberg version is Jeff Goldblum's character. He suffers from motion sickness, so that's why he created teleportation. Where it's like, oh, you want to give it like a very like realistic, a grounded version of. It's not just like a goofy, like forward-thinking sci-fi, the 50s sci-fi thing. It's like, no, motion sickness. This is for people who don't like to travel.
Man, that would rule. I would love this.
Yeah, seriously.
The Brundle Fly. That's right.
Seth Brundle. Yeah. But and I also like Cronenberg's approach to it, because in the 50s one where he goes into the teleportation thing and then he gets switched, like he's got a human body but like a fly, I don't know, hand or claw thing or something. I don't know what flies have, but then like a fly head, and then he gets the rest of them put onto the body of a fly. So it's like this kind of swapped a few body parts. Whereas in this one, it's much more Cronenbergian, where it's like, no, the fly's DNA is going to mix with his own, and he's going to gradually evolve or devolve into a fly or some kind of weird fly human thing hybrid towards the end of the film. And there's just a lot of gross out scenes where it's like he picks like his teeth out, he picks like his fingernail out. There's like close-ups of like bits and pieces falling off of him. It's great. That's a cool one. And there's that scene where he throws up on that guy's fist and it starts to melt because flies have like that acidic saliva to break down their food.
Yeah, I'm reading right, the digestive enzymes. Yep.
Yeah. And then the enhanced strength, like with that scene where he's what do you call it? Arm wrestling with some dude in a bar, and then he breaks the guy's arm, and the bone sticks out. Like there's a lot of close-ups of like gooey, gross out scenes. So yeah, that's a good one.
The Brundle fly is so good.
For me, I'm going to pick Hellraiser 1 and 2.
Yeah,
this is more for makeup rather than just straight up gore, but there is some great gore effects in those ones as well. The designs of those characters, like this like weird sadomasochistic.
The Cenobites, they're so it makes you squirm.
Yeah, the pale skin and like they're decked out in leather, and they're all experiencing some form of like eternal disfigurement. Pinhead's the main one. Played by Doug Bradley, who I actually met when I was like 17 years old at a horror convention.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And he's the one with all the nails in his head, so that's why he's known as Pinhead. And there's that one chick, and she's got like her throat is kind of partially open.
That makes me squirm. Yeah. There's a guy who's got like it's like barbed wire in his mouth or something.
Yeah. Where like the cheeks are pulled out, and so he's like the chatterer.
The chatterer. Oh my god.
Yeah, the design and the execution of those effects are so good, and just the idea of like creating these hellish S&M like dominatrix type of creatures.
So Hellraiser to me it's very much like what's that like all. Like I think there's very little substance there. I think it's all like the makeup's incredible. It's iconic. Hellraiser, well, Pinhead is like an iconic horror figure.
Yeah.
But first of all, he's like barely in the movie.
Right.
He's like really not in it a lot at all.
Yep.
And it's kind of gets the Boba Fett treatment in a way.
Yeah, exactly.
Not that they kill him off right away, but. Like he's really, I mean, he's on the cover of everything. Like he is. People call him. I almost just said call him Hellraiser when that's not him. It's he's Pinhead. But I don't know. I think it's not a very good movie. I think it's okay, but it's definitely worth watching for the for what you see visually. It's a lot of intense visuals, but as a movie, it's kind of like. Do they show it in, or is like the mix of like cum and blood, and that's like, or is that the book? I'm getting
it's mostly the book. I'm pretty sure it's the book.
Okay, it's mostly the book.
The movie's very, very faithful to the novella that Clive Barker wrote. But there are a handful of scenes in the novella that do not show up in the movie. I think it's because like it wouldn't be able to get away with it. That get really, really graphic. I
feel like there's not as much sex in the movie.
Right. Yeah, there's a lot more mingling of sex and brutality in the novella, but but just like the design and like I said, like that was a fairly low budget movie, probably I think just around $100 million bucks. But I'm pretty sure most of the budget went towards just the design of that makeup, and also like the Frank or Uncle Frank, the guy who's skinless for most of the movie. Like those effects look fantastic. Like,
those are good too. Yeah,
it's funny because he's always glistening. So it's like what kind of like that must have been an incredibly uncomfortable thing to wear because you have to get a really skinny guy to do it, obviously. And so we're gonna cover you in fake muscle and tissue and bone, and then we're going to cover you in KY jelly, so you're just constantly slippery and glistening. But it worked really, really well. That was a cool effect.
Yeah, it's cool. It's worth watching. I had higher expectations. I remember I watched it probably like, I don't know, 5 years ago or so, and I had higher expectations for it. Were you gonna discuss Scanners? I assume
that was on my list. Yeah.
Scanners, which again, the classic head explosion scene is one of probably the other most well-known Cronenberg scene, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. You want to? I know you like Scanners a lot.
I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of that movie. In fact, I'm not even the biggest fan of Cronenberg. I think he's got really cool ideas.
Yeah.
But too often I watch his movies and they often leave me unsatisfied. I think The Fly is one of the ones where I'm like, this is a good movie from beginning to end. This is a satisfying movie.
Probably his best movie.
I think so. Yeah. At least of the ones that I've seen. But like when we watched Crimes of the Future, where it's like, it's got a cool concept and great scenes, but it just left me going. I was just like,
Didn't he come out with one last year that I watched? Was that?
There was another body horror one that he came out with, or body horror-ish. Probably more sci-fi, less horror, but
there was one that came out, I think last year. I thought was not very good. But anyway, yeah, Scanners is I think Scanners is very. Oh yeah, the Shrouds. Yeah, no, not good.
Scanners is decent. It was a little confusing. I'm not entirely sure what the message was of that movie. If there was like an overarching like what was the other one that he did? The TV,
the
Videodrome, yeah, where it's like there was some kind of socio-cultural criticism there. But with Scanners, I was focused on the makeup effects. So Dick Smith did the makeup effects for this, and it's funny because Dick Smith he was kind of like the original, probably like the first of like modern special effects guys, because he did The Exorcist, he did all the Linda Blair stuff, and he taught Tom Savini, Stan Winston, who would go on to do like Aliens, the first 2 Predator movies, the first 2 Terminator movies, the first 2 Jurassic Park movies. He also did Jurassic Park 3. And he also taught Rick Baker, who did American Werewolf in London, and who'd go on to win 7 Oscars for makeup. So he's like the grandfather of modern makeup effects. He did the effects for Scanners, and that head explosion scene is done really well. So the scene where he's this guy, he's playing a psychic, and then he goes up against what's his face, who's actually a real psychic, and then they're having like a battle of psychosis or whatever, and then like his head blew. The way they did that effect was they created a fake model of the actor, and then they filled it with, I think, mostly dog food, and a lot of like fake blood, and then they had a real shotgun behind it, and then that. And yeah, it's super fucking cool. And you can tell, like, that's not just like an air cannon. It's like there's like an actual concussive force coming out of the back of that thing. And it's such a fucking cool scene. So I'm glad that even Dick Smith, that was kind of later in his career, but he still had it. He was still like, yeah, let's get a real gun and we'll blow up a fake head.
Is that the one? Don't they have a cool like melting scene in that? Like where a guy, or is that RoboCop?
RoboCop, there's a melting scene.
I think it's RoboCop. Then.
Yeah, where he gets covered in like toxic chemicals. And the car runs into him and he splatters. That was a cool shot. That was a cool one. Rob Bottin did that. But Scanners.
That's not even Cronenberg.
No. Although Cronenberg, I think, was approached to direct it, but he did not accept. Scanners is a killer. It's got some great makeup effects in that one. All right, your turn.
Well, I think we have to discuss Evil Dead.
Oh yeah.
Evil Dead, classic, low budget, holds up. So like, the Deadites. What?
Deadites.
Yeah, the Deadites, which are this weird kind of mix between zombie and possessed, right?
Yeah.
Like that's why I guess they have a different name than they're not. I think they would be considered zombie, probably more possessed. but it's like the first Evil Dead is so good. And then they're all pretty. I'm not a huge fan of Army of Darkness, but the like the makeup, the tree, like the tree, right? Like the raping tree or whatever it is.
Yeah, the Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah, the Harvey. Yeah, the penetrating tree.
Yeah.
Penetrating
pine. Yeah.
Penetrating pine. I just remember the girl locked in the basement is always just got like gives me the willies.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like her eyes, like the yellow. And sometimes I do when I think about it, I forget. Am I thinking of the remake that came out like between 10, 14, 13 years ago?
Yeah, it's 2013, I believe. Yeah.
Was it 2013? Okay, yeah. Or the one that came out, the original. So sometimes I do forget which, because like the remake was very scary. It lost a lot of the campiness of it though, but I think it made up for it. Like it is a scary movie. We got to do Evil Dead Burn.
We should cover that at some point.
I like to do all the Evil Dead. I think some of the new ones have been pretty good. I remember enjoying the Evil Dead Rise or something.
Yeah.
I thought it was actually pretty good. I remember liking it.
I'll do another one. This is Altered States, directed by Ken Russell.
I don't know that.
So this one, Dick Smith also did the effects for it. Now, and also, if I'm not mistaken, this movie also had some very, very, very early CGI. That actually works pretty well in the movie. I mean, it's used for some pretty simple shots, but it's I think they use computers for this. But we're not talking about that. We're talking practical. So you've never seen this one?
No.
Okay, so the main character is played by William Hurt.
Oh, I love William Hurt.
Yeah, he's great, and he plays like this scientist, anthropologist guy or whatever. And this is actually kind of based on something on a true story, but it's been exaggerated for the movie, obviously. But William Hurt plays like this anthropologist guy, I think, and he starts experimenting with like drugs and sensory deprivation tanks, and it's a little hard to explain. But from what I got from the movie was that like when he does this, he undergoes like this weird like atavistic evolutionary experience, like acid trip sort of thing. So like he starts like throughout the movie, he starts to kind of revert back to like a caveman sort of thing, like his primordial, his dormant primordial instincts that we all have. They awaken, so he starts to turn like this weird like creature thing. But like the transformation scenes, again, this is 1980, so like these effects are really ahead of their time, and they look really, really well. This is one of the first movies that I can think of where they put bladders under characters, where they have fake skin and then an air bladder, an air bladder. So like there's a scene where William Hurt's character, he's riding, and then all of a sudden like his arm starts like bulging in and out, and it's like but they put individual hairs on the fake layer of skin, and then they put air bladder, so it looks like his skin's like undulating. There's a scene where he's sleeping, and then he starts getting like Taco Bell cramps, and then like he pulls the blanket down. I shouldn't have had that lettuce, and then he's like his like stomach and torso bulging in and out. It's actually really, really cool effects. So that movie is worth checking. It's really wild, confusing movie. But it's got some really cool imagery and some really cool effects.
Yeah, I'd like to check this out. This looks cool.
Yeah, Ken Russell is a pretty wild director. He's not known for subtlety at all. From what I understand, the screenwriter for that movie, who adapted his own book, said that while the movie was very close to the source material, everybody kept shouting their lines.
Wait, why?
Ken Russell is just a very over the top director. He's just like, there's no subtlety. There's no, just everybody's just like, all characters kind of hype, cranked to 11. Just a very intense guy. We're checking out. It's a really fun movie.
I'll add that to the list. That sounds like something I'd enjoy. To wrap up for me.
Yes.
So this movie, it's oh man, I think we did a whole episode on this movie, actually.
I can guess. Yeah.
What are you gonna guess?
Society.
Yeah. Society. Yes, Society.
Yeah.
This movie is man. This movie is off the wall. It is like one part Malibu Beach high school movie, one part like the most insane, gnarly body horror shit you've ever seen.
Yeah. Do you remember the name of the makeup effects guy who did that?
It's like a screaming something like
Screaming Mad George was his name.
Screaming Mad George. Yes. Is it Japanese?
I think so. Yeah.
I forget, but
yeah,
man. I mean, so really, I recommended this. So one of my coworkers is a colleague of mine. He's a big movie guy. He loves like horror stuff. He reads a lot of horror novels. Big Stephen King fan.
Mm-hmm.
But so I recommended this movie. I was like, just trust me. Just finish the movie. There will be times where you probably don't want to.
Yeah.
You're like, this isn't worth it. This is like kind of boring, kind of weird. Like, just trust me. Because this movie, the scene, I don't even know what to call it. Let's I guess we call it the orgy scene. Yeah. It's not that kind of orgy, but is one of the most insane things I've ever seen. I'm not exaggerating. Yeah. It is one of the most insane things I've ever seen. I don't want to give it away. People, unlike The Thing and unlike The Fly, like a lot of people have seen, people who listen to this have probably seen those movies. They've seen the Living Dead movies. I don't think a lot of people have seen this movie. But it is, talk about viscous. Like, this is mucilaginous. And this is quite, use any adjective you want for just fluid and slick and oh my god. But it is so insane. I don't know how else to describe it. And it's not like just, it's gross, but it's not like gross out just to, I don't know, make people feel queasy. Like it's part of the movie. It's, I mean, you had not seen this before I told you about it, right?
I had, I have it on DVD.
Oh, you had seen it. Oh, yeah. Oh, so you knew what was coming. Do you remember the first time watching this movie?
Yeah, I was like in my early 20s, and it was funny because I felt like up until that point, I had a pretty good grasp of all like the sort of cult classic horror movies. And even if I hadn't seen them, I was familiar with them. Society, I had never even heard of them. And it's funny because I should have heard of it sooner, because the guy who directed it produced Reanimator and directed Reanimator 2. So I was already familiar with him. I'm like, how did this particular work of yours escape my grasp for like the last 10 years that I've been getting into like cult, like horror movies and stuff. So yeah, I was like in my early 20s, mid 20s maybe, and just being like, "What the fuck is this?" Yeah, it's what. Yeah, no, we shouldn't spoil too much of it. Definitely hunt it down. It's out there.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't remember much else from this movie.
Yeah,
until it's not just like the. I don't even know what to call it. The final party, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because it's not just like that one scene, that one shot is the cherry on top. It's really the work of art. But the whole movie before that, I don't remember much of what happens in that. Yeah. In the first part of that movie. But I just remember the end. They hop in a car and drive away. They're just like, let's get out of here.
Yeah.
I don't remember, but it was good. Like I didn't, if it was a bad movie and just that one part, I remember liking it overall, but it is really an insane thing to see.
Yeah. And you're right. Like it is a weird sort of mix of like late 80s teen, I guess, sort of satire or comedy, and then weird sci-fi body horror, and also like there is kind of a point to, there's kind of a message where it is kind of making fun of the upper crust of Los Angeles and all that. Using body horror to kind of talk about how wealthy people in this case quite literally leech on the backs of regular people.
Yeah, like that's I don't think that I don't maybe at the time I don't this is from the 80s, so I don't know. I think it's 89 actually.
Yeah.
But like I don't think that was new. Like the rich feed off of the everyone else. Like that's not an original concept, but I've never seen it done like this before.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll leave a good chunk of this of that final scene out.
Yeah, watch it and watch the movie because I'm sure you can just go find the vibe. Like watch the movie, give it context.
Yeah,
it's overall it's pretty good, but it's very the juxtaposition of the kind of tone of a lot of the movie and what you see towards the end is just it's shocking.
Yeah. I mean, it's on YouTube right now, actually. So
the whole movie?
Yeah, the whole movie.
Oh, nice.
Okay. So yeah, it's out there. Anyway, Ben, I think that's a pretty good way to wrap up this episode. Support movies and filmmakers who rely on practical effects.
Definitely.
And go support that. And call up your senator, call up your local Congress member, and tell them that you want more practical effects. So I don't want to get political, but I think that's all right, Benjamin.
All right, Jose. See you in the basement.
See you in the basement.